Hi, my name is Richard Aviles. I am a student in urban planning and social work and a dancer. My pronouns are he, him, they, them.
Hi, my name is Soleil. I'm an enrollment counselor and I'm a grad student in getting my master's in higher education. And my pronouns are she and they.
Hey, my name is Laura. I'm a grad student at UCR studying entomology, and my pronouns are she, her.
Perfect. So we are Coffee and Queers, where we drink coffee, talk about queer things, and just be unapologetically queer. The first thing we're going to do is play this game. We're going to pull out some things out of this box, just talk about them, go on a couple rounds, see what comes up to mind. And then second, we're going to talk about queer baiting and media trends and how queer people are portrayed in the media. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. First question. Are you excited for the new season of Orange is the New Black? My initial reaction was, hey, wait, they have a new season?
I don't know if I'm excited, but I'm definitely gonna watch it, see how it unfolds. I don't even remember what happened in the last season. To be honest, I'm gonna have to do one of those recaps where I'm like, oh, okay, what happened? All right, now I know.
Yeah, I don't remember the last season at all, but I know I'm gonna watch this new one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Part of that, we're just gonna jump on the train.
Right? Just as always. All right, next one. Let's check that real quick. Young Ma or Young Ma? I don't know who this person is. Oh,
like Remy Ma?
wait, Young Ma is a rapper, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Well,
I was like, is this Remy Ma pre-jail?
Don't really listen to this person's music, but I know they're a rapper and they're black, right? And they're queer. Okay, that's what I know. That's the extent of my knowledge on Young Ma.
Coffee and not so on the trend queer.
Ellen Page versus Ellen DeGeneres.
None of them.
I feel like I don't really have an opinion. I like Ellen Page in movies, and I hear that she does a lot of activism now.
Yeah.
Ellen DeGeneres, she's a cool old lesbian, old school.
Right.
But other than that, I don't really keep up with what's going on.
Has she tried to become like the Oprah of social media though? Because everyone she ever gives things to are people she finds on social media.
I'm like, can she find me?
Right.
Come on, Ellen.
Maybe this is the first time. This is it. We get a segment on the Ellen Show.
Yes, this is gonna be our time to shine.
Okay, second question. Make up a poem about glitter and your favorite snack food. Twinkle, twinkle, sparkle, sparkle. Look at me. I want a Snapple. I don't even like Snapples.
Go ahead.
I don't have one.
I don't have a favorite snack.
Can it be abstract?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Why would you put glitter in a box of cheeses?
Yes. That works.
I got nothing. I don't know how to beat those. I don't even know what my favorite snack food is. Glitter, the herpes of the crafts world.
Yes. There it is.
I love cupcakes. There we go. Boom.
I think sprinkles can look like glitter.
All right, next one. Thoughts on But I'm a Cheerleader.
Oh my God.
This is probably the first queer movie that I watched as a child.
Yeah.
It was wild. I still remember that what is it? Something like silly gay dicks are for chicks or something.
Oh my God, yes.
I will always remember that because it was the lady from Casper the Friendly Ghost. So that's why I always remember it, because it was her who was singing. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was pretty good.
Yeah, no, watching that movie, but not being aware fully of what I was, but just being like, oh, this gives me a weird feeling. It's kind of weird to think about now.
It was always kind of funny of watching the movie and then being like, oh, I kind of want to go to this camp because all the queer people are there. And I mean, there was mostly queer white men, of course, and when she was young and gay. But just being there and being like, oh, wait, you want to put a bunch of queer people in one space together?
And try to make them straight?
Right.
How does that work?
I'm like, you can't change perfection, but whatever.
Also, where's the logic behind there? You're just giving them friends now.
Right, it's like we're building strength in numbers.
Right? We're going to overthrow you.
But I'm a cheerleader. That's the best part. I think that we should do that. It should be a challenge now. Oh my God, like, you got an A in this paper. How? But I'm a cheerleader. Just end everything with but I'm a cheerleader.
If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be? Like a remote forest, away from all the people.
Yeah, I feel like somewhere remote, but also like 10, 15 miles from like, where civilization
From, like,
is.
usable
But I
stuff.
have like my own little garden, and I bake my own bread, and I don't have to work because this is my work, and life is just great.
I feel like I always had this fantasy of being one of like those witches that has like, the herbs in the backyard. It's like, let me go tend to my chamomile and my thyme and just make all these potions. And then I was like, okay, Richard, you're not, what's her name? Fleetwood Mac? No.
Stevie Nicks?
Stevie Nicks. And then I saw like the coven and I was like, oh, maybe this can happen. But I do have like, I want to live, okay, this is super bizarre, in Norway.
Why Norway?
I went to a Norwegian Lutheran college for undergrad, and it was just so different from South Central. And everyone's like, Richard, but you're going to like white capital. And I'm like, I know. I mean, that sucks. But it was like, if it would have gone to like a Tanzanian college, then I would totally want to go to Tanzania. It was just so different and foreign. And I just want to live in a country for a couple of years that I can learn a language. And Norway's the only one I know, other than others. Maybe I can find somewhere Latin there. I don't know. But I have a dream of going to Norway. Yes. Do we do one last round?
Okay.
Awesome. These are good. These are fun. Feels about Amber Rose. I love her.
I kind of like her too.
I like her too.
I'm like, I don't know what your MO is, but you don't give no fucks. And I'm okay with that.
I can't really comment because I don't really know like what her politics are or like what she's about. But I mean, I haven't heard any recent problematic stuff, so I don't know. Maybe this will be my time to do some investigating. Like, what are you about, Amber Rose?
What are your hopes and dreams?
What are your aspirations?
With Beyonce Pretty Hurts in the background.
Alright. Favorite Disney movie? That's an easy one. Moana.
Oh, yeah.
Moana.
It's my sleep movie. Like, I put it on every night before I go to sleep.
The music is
Sing me to
just so
sleep.
good.
Yeah.
This makes me so happy.
I still like The Lion King.
Yeah.
It is a good one.
There's something about that opening scene. I'm like, this is the best opening scene in cinematography, animated or not. Just the rising sun over the horizon, the fucking flying flamingos. I'm like, I just want to be here. Oh, it's my favorite song.
How you feel about this remake, though?
Oh, shoot.
Beyonce?
That's on. See, talk about queer baiting. Because I was like, I was not going to watch this movie. Then they said Beyonce was not, and I was like, yes, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
They got us with that. They're like, how are we going to get people to watch Beyonce?
Okay,
make
cool.
Beyonce dollars. Duh.
Right. Oh, God. I'm ready for the Can You Feel the Love Tonight? I'm like, yes, Beyonce, I feel it all. So, now that we've done this activity, I think it's a good, like, just so many things just came out. Let's talk about this idea of, like, queer baiting. And, just how in recent media, how we've been sort of, like, queer identity or queer stories have been put into media. But the question is, like, is this, like, substantial representation? Or is it just to attract a certain market? So, and then they're talking about Beyonce, right, as Nala. But let's also be real. Like, Beyonce has become sort of this queer epithet in some way, in my opinion. Coachella last night, was that a queer bait?
What happened?
Oh, Coachella. I mean, Beyonce's concert. She was the first black woman to highline Coachella. Right? That's the word, right? Highline? Highlight. Headline. Oh, headline! Oh, man! Oh, God! I was like, Highline. Isn't that a thing in New York? Oh, gosh.
Do a lot of queer people go to Coachella? Is that like a thing that queer people go to?
I don't know.
I imagine like white girls appropriating Native American.
Yeah, no, I
culture.
mean, that's all it is.
That's all my vision of Coachella is.
Right.
Hot desert valley, people doing drugs, passing out.
Yeah.
40 stages.
But and in some ways, it reminds me like it could have been something. And if we're gonna talk about precedent, I mean, the radical fairies and radical fairy gatherings, like, I mean, it was gay white men mostly, but I think in some inception and iteration, it was this idea of like queer people being unapologetic and just being on drugs and just having a great time. So maybe it could have been it started as a queer thing, and has been sort of co-opted in what it is now. But so maybe that was a wrong example to start with. Just, I don't know. Queer baiting.
I just feel like you could put Beyonce anywhere and we'll buy it.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why are we like this?
Why are we like this? Why do we consume things like this?
We're just so starved for attention and representation that any little crumb they give us, we're like on it. Yeah.
It sucks though, because they know that they got us. Like,
yeah.
they know that they got us because we are starved for that representation. We don't get it as much as we should, or as much as straight people get. So then when we do get something, like, even if it seems genuine, I always feel like it's not 100% genuine. Like, you're trying to get your ratings up, you know that we're gonna watch it because there's such a lack of representation. So
here's the question: what was like the first piece of media or recent media that you were like queer, without necessarily like the analysis and everything that goes beyond it, or even thinking if it was queer baiting or not, or what's something that you've been watching recently that you're like, this is some queer stuff?
that are we talking like no analysis? We're just like, oh, that's queer, but not this is queer baiting. Just
yeah.
Okay. I'm
trying to think.
I don't think
Like,
there's ever been a time where I'm like, oh, this is genuine.
Okay, so give us some example of the disingenuine ones.
Okay, the example that's the most recent one, the first episode of Riverdale, where they make the two cheerleaders kiss, and then they're not even going to get together or anything. I'm like, literally, there was no point of them kissing at all. Like, didn't fit anywhere in the plot line, but they did this because they knew, oh, this is our first episode, this is a new TV show, it's about teens, and we know teens are going to watch this, so make them kiss. And then now all the little baby queers are going to be like, oh, yes, let's watch. Are they going to get together? Are they not? No, they're not. Your dreams and hopes are going to be crushed.
I see. Okay. First episode of Riverdale.
Yeah.
Kick off the season, which sounds awful.
After I saw it, I was like, are you kidding me? This is so bad.
You know,
but that's the CW.
You know what other thing did that? Okay, and I'm only on this sort of type of high because the series finale of Scandal is next Thursday, and I love me Olivia Pope. Like, that's who I want to be in life. But if you remember, I think it was the pilot episode of Scandal or the second episode of Scandal where the first client was like a Republican military man who they were trying to get him to come out after Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And I was like, Shonda Rhimes, what are you writing? So I think that was one of those I was like, okay, I see you, but of course that was like, is this real though?
Yeah.
So I don't know if I think she's done a good job, Shonda. I like Shonda.
Yeah, she does have a lot of queer representation that kind of acts as natural, at least from How to Get Away with Murder.
Oh, tell us more.
Well, there's a couple of queer characters. There's what is his name? Connor. And then his boyfriend, Oliver. And then, who's the other one? And then Annalise.
Yeah.
Right. And you're like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, I almost forgot.
Yeah.
Because, they show her story, like, that happens with Eve, who's another attorney. And, like, they kind of, like, highlight, like, their relationship and stuff. And, like, they talk about it, but then it kind of just fades out. And you never hear about it again until she, like, pops up randomly sometimes. And you're like, oh, yes! Y'all did have a thing. I totally forgot.
And then the Bonnie thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true.
You know what? I make the joke, though, that I think that when it comes to baiting, okay, because you know the show was written by Pete. Novak. Every time I see
Oh.
it, I always think of Norwalk, and you know, like he's like Norwalk, like ain't nobody care about you. Like, you know, the only reason I got baited is because it's Shonda Rhimes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's so funny because I noticed in the opening they like put his name out there for like 3 more seconds, and I'm like, you trying to get recognition? Bye, boy, bye. Like, it's okay. And I think he's a gay white man. Oops. That's a good example. Any other examples?
Oh, American Horror Story.
Mm.
Like so the creators of that show are gay, right?
Yes.
But I don't know, I just feel like it's not proper representation. Like, it's very stereotypical. It's not like queer people being queer in a natural way. It's queer people being queer for entertainment.
Right.
And I think that really bothers me.
Right.
But he does it every single season. Like, there's queer characters every single season that are just stereotypes.
I think his name is Ryan Murphy.
Yeah.
Yes, creators also of Glee. Wait. Did y'all hear? Did y'all hear that? I think they're in the works of creating a show with Netflix that's about voguing.
Are there black and brown people in this at all? Because we all know they started the movement.
Right. I think so.
And a white gay man is writing.
So so Ryan Murphy's is putting this show. I think it got greenlit already too, about putting this show together about voguing and about what it was like. I know there has been, similar to Steven Spielberg, right, who's reimagining West Side Story with like an all Latino cast. I know Ryan Murphy is bringing on like the most inclusive, right, for lack of a better word, of like trans folks and gender non-conforming folks and like folks of color into this production. But like,
is
that reflected in the writing?
Yeah.
Like, we have to think about that. Like, sure, you can bring in this cast and you can have these stories, but is it reflected in the writing, or is it white people writing these stories who don't really know like the history and like the struggle? And I think that's where it gets like super like annoying when it comes to like writing queer characters of color, because all the people in the writing room, one, they're probably straight and you probably have the token queer person, but more than likely they're probably white and they don't know the stories and the history and the experiences of these people that they're writing about.
Like, I want to know, do you have like a consulting team of people with lived experience?
Yeah, exactly, and most of the time they don't.
Right. It happened with Tangerine. Do you know the movie Tangerine?
Yes.
Okay, so I was able to see a screening with one of the writers and producers, and I was like, you know, when you sit in something, and maybe we could talk about this, when you're watching like a queer character or something, and like you were talking about this idea of spectatorship, right? Mm-hmm. And it's funny, and then people around you start laughing a little too much, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. Why are you laughing that hard?
Right. Like, for me, it happened with Tangerine. I don't identify as a trans woman, or, you know, but I know that the story, because I grew up as a queer kid in LA, you know, like I probably would have been on the blocks. And I was like, these white folks just around me and straight folks were just laughing a little too hard. And my thing was like, okay, like you had a $10,000 budget, but you made it with the iPhone and you have all this money, but where are these women's like credit? And where you know, where's their royalty check, you know? So have you ever been in a situation where you're watching a queer character or something queer and someone's like laughing a little? And do you think that's going to happen with Ryan Murphy?
I feel like, yes, I've definitely been in those situations. And, you know, they're laughing because they think it's funny, and they think like, they probably think, well, this doesn't really happen to queer people, you know, because they don't really know our experiences. And it's so annoying. And I'm like, do y'all even know why you're laughing? Like, why is this so funny to you? Like, this is someone's life. Like, this is happening to trans women all the time. This is happening to queer people all the time. It's not a joke. Like, this wasn't, yes, there's some comedic moments, but it's not like about the experience isn't what's funny. Like, it's, you know, a joke here or a joke there, yeah, that's funny, go ahead and laugh. You probably don't understand it, but but like at the end of the day, like, take something more from this than this is funny. You know, what these people are going through is funny because that's someone's lived experience.
I was scrolling through Netflix the other day and Tangerine was under comedies, and I just thought that was so ill-fitting. So ill-fitting.
Yeah.
We won't even talk about the debauchery that's Netflix right now.
Tell me more. What do you mean debauchery?
It's just like, have you like ever scrolled through like the new popular releases? It's like, one I saw was like Trump, American Dream, and I was like, why are we even like, why? And then what was it the other day? I was looking through movies, right? Looking through queer movies, and there was this movie called Chloe with Amanda Seyfried, and I was like, oh, okay, let's watch this. I watch it, I'm just like, and here we go with the trope that queer people are crazy, stalker, obsessive, and like,
Yep.
and they're always the enemies and the bad guys. And after I watched that movie, I was like, wow, who wrote this? Probably a straight person.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go there. Can I go there?
Go there.
I'm gonna go there. Right? Unapologetic. So we've been talking about all this like queer baiting and stuff. Let's talk about RuPaul and RuPaul's Drag Race.
Laughs awkwardly.
Can we just talk about, like, initially these past couple seasons, what moving to VH1 versus being a logo has done to the show?
Yes, tell me more. Yes.
Because they took something that was primarily targeted towards a queer audience and they made it for straight people, and they streamlined it directly to feed into straight people's mouths, and that just does not feel right. Like, I have all kinds of straight friends watching the show, and I'm like, you're not supposed to know these references. You should not know Miss Vanjie. Why are you talking to me about Miss Vanjie?
Right.
Co-opting on our words and stuff,
Right.
and like not respecting the culture. Like,
Right.
come on.
Right.
Come on.
Right. No, same thing. I think I enjoyed RuPaul's Drag Race. I think the first couple of seasons, and then when it transitioned over to VH1, right? And you were just like, wait, what? And I think in the beginning I was like, oh, maybe more people need to know about Paris is Burning, and yes, the library, and Open and Shade, and wooty woo, click, click, clack. And then I was like, oh, but now you're saying that? And then it became this thing where even like straight men were being glorified for being feminine and knowing these things, but yet like queer femboys were being bashed all the time for this. So I was like, man, RuPaul, you can step down. It's okay. I said it.
And RuPaul just feels so out of touch. Like, he still has these very archaic views of what drag is and what drag should be, and it's like, we're in a new world with different gender identities, and you need to encompass that into the drag world, because drag is changing and Ru isn't.
Right. Did you watch RuPaul's Drag Race?
I didn't really watch it.
No.
I watched maybe the first season, and then I watched, I don't know what season it was, the season with Willem.
Season 2.
Yeah, I think I watched the first 2 seasons.
Okay, no, it was season 3.
Season 4.
No, because season 2 is Jujubee.
Yeah.
That's my girl. Love me some Jujubee. Love Jujubee.
But yeah, I like, even though I don't even watch the show as religiously as other people, like, even I can tell where it's changing, and then that's bad if I can tell, and I don't even like consume that show as much as other people. Like, if I can tell and I'm like on the outside, then I feel like I can't even imagine what it's like for queer people, like, actually watching this show and being like, oh man, now everyone's co-opting, and like, y'all don't even know like the background of it, and
Like, I think with like the yes queen, and you're like, girl, it's been around since the 50s and 60s. Come on now, back up. Like, this is not a new thing.
And then also, not only that, but like recognizing that all of this slang came from Black people. Like, this is where it started, and like no one really like gives them the credit for that. Or like people who are like, oh, I don't like Black trans people, but they're over here using yes queen and blah 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 blah, and I'm like, respect their legacy, respect it, or keep it out your mouth.
Yes. I think that is a great way to sort of to wrap it up. When we talked about so many different things, I'm a big fan of like one word takeaways. So this idea of like queer legacy, right? In one word, how would you define your queer legacy? I know, right? But unapologetic, first thing that comes to mind. I'm like Sunday morning.
I feel like mine would be intersectional.
Or one phrase. One sentence. Okay, how about that? One sentence.
I don't know if I have one. I don't have a legacy. Yeah, I don't know.
Or what do you want it to be? What do you want your queer legacy to be?
Right, because we get to redefine all the time.
Change it up.
I gotta think.
Okay.
We'll come back.
We'll come back to that one.
I think for me, it's unapologetic. Because whatever that means. As long as I don't apologize.
Right? It
You know
can
what I
mean
mean?
anything to you.
I don't have one. Guys, I don't have one.
That's okay. So you have time to figure it out.
In progress.
In progress.
Hey y'all, I'm Follow, and I'm the fusion friends you never knew you needed. Each week on the Game Podcast, we get to go through hot-ass topics that I've been talking about, of course, but what the reality is I get to the girls some new music each week, okay? I'm giving you girls TV and all that shit. So yeah, get into it, mama.
Well, that's it for today. We are Coffee and Queers, where we just drink coffee, be queer, and talk about queer things. That's it. Right? That's it.
Sweet.